Good afternoon and good morning to all our U.S. regional bank customers on our monthly webinar today. This is Victor Yana, Vice President on the U.S. Regional Bank Customer Management Team. Today's session is focused on digital. Joining me and leading us in today's session is Jess Turner, Executive Vice President, Digital Payments and Customer Engagement.
You can see that we've had a lot of digital player announcements and wallets around the world. And I think there's consumer choice there, and that's why we all participate with those as partners. You can see in the merchant category on this slide that you have use cases that many of you have probably used yourself. You have Starbucks, which is much more than payments. They have a very specific customer base, and they have a mobile app that is compelling for people, and it has other value as well, where the payment is really just to complete the transaction, but the order ahead function in the Starbucks app, for anybody who's busy and has used it, is really why people care and love that app. It's less about the closed-loop payment. And there are only so many solutions that are going to allow for a closed-loop payment because it becomes, you have to continue to monitor it and move forward. Uber is another great example of an ability to move a payment quickly and in an easy way. I'm going to stop for a second on Dunkin' Donuts on this slide. So most recently, Dunkin' Donuts has launched Masterpass in their app. As you can see here, I went through what Masterpass is, but it's a partner bank button. We'll go through it a little bit more. But why that matters is you can imagine if your brand is where partner is printed on this button, and then you just see the circles, you can see that the consumer quickly can see that, oh, wait, I want this shirt. I recognize this is my bank. That's the credit card I see all the time. That's who I have my mortgage with, or my car loan, or my bank account. And MasterCard, I know MasterCard. I trust MasterCard. I'm going to check out. And it moves quickly. And it's global, right? So it's the same everywhere around the world, which is incredibly important. So what are the customer benefits? The customer benefits for Masterpass is that it saves them time at checkout. It's easy and it's quick, and that it works across all cards and products in the U.S. It has the same security the card has, and then it has more security because you're using a login that you know, depending on the way you go forward with Masterpass. So consumers feel more secure. And then the other part is the acceptance is broad. It's used in many, many places. It can be used across the board, and it can be used in different ways. It can be used in-app, similar to how you would do a Starbucks transaction. It can be used in the browser, similar to how you check out today, but just with a click. Or it can be used in store when you tap and pay. Why do banks like it? So we have something called digital by default. And what that means is if your customer already has online banking with you or mobile banking, they have a username and a password, or they have some way to log in for you already. And what we do is we integrate the Masterpass checkout button into that experience with the same login information. So therefore, the customer doesn't have to remember another way to log in to make that payment. And we call that digital by default, meaning, okay, great, customer. You have a card with me, and you have a relationship with my bank, and you have a digital username and password, and now as a result, you're able to check out with one click safely and securely moving forward. And that drives more transactions, it keeps you top of wallet, and it gives consumers another reason to trust your bank. Cards can automatically be available in wallet with the way the process works today. We have a registry. So the reason I'm going to stop on this slide just for a second. I won't go through every detail, but with our focus on our issuers, Masterpass is truly differentiated. And what does that mean? It's truly differentiated because it works across all devices, which is pretty important. So if you're an Apple phone, iPhone user today, and you move to an Android phone, you're not going to be able to use Apple Pay anymore. You're going to have to change, right? That's not the case for Masterpass. It works across all channels. We believe that's also important, the fact that it's the branding and you can use it anywhere. It has advanced AMD-like security across all channels. Now, that's in different phases in the browser and by merchants because things take time to scale, but that's where we're going and that's the vision. And the biggest part of it is that it's bank branded and controlled. And what that means is that you keep your customer's data. Your customer, if you connect to us via API, to this Masterpass acceptance button, you keep your own data, you own the customer, you have the login, and you're able to control what that experience is. And that's very different. They are your customer. You market to them. We don't market to them on your behalf because it's your experience simply connected to our acceptance mark. I'm going to take a small break there on that point because there are multiple versions of MasterPass in North America. The one I'm talking about is called Digital by Default. And what that means is that you do some integration work with the checkout button so that you can host the data and that we just really complete the transaction for you. But we understand that not everybody has resources waiting and maybe aren't willing to make that investment just yet. So we also have what we call MasterPass by MasterCard, which is a direct, it's in market today, and it's a standalone solution where you don't have to do any integration work, but your cardholders can opt in to participate on their own, or you can work with us to help them participate, which I think a few of the banks on the line are doing today. And in that case, the data does sit with us because it's hosted. And we move the transactions through similar to other wallets. But the difference still there is that if you decide you're ready, hey, you know what, we've been doing this MasterPass by MasterCard wallet for a while. Maybe some of you have co-branded wallets, some don't. And we love that our cardholders can make these transactions in all these different ways. But now I really want to migrate. I really want to migrate over, and I want to create my own experience and just connect to your acceptance button. We're like, that's fantastic. Let us help you do that. So I bring that up because we're trying to create two different solutions for you. One that's a low touch. Go out today, tomorrow with it. And then when you're ready, you can do the bigger integration. Or if you're ready to go that way first, then we can do that as well. Okay, this slide's just showing you a quick snapshot. It continues to grow. But the takeaway here is you can see we have a lot of top issuers and a lot of other issuers already participating in MasterPass. And you're going to see a lot more campaigns moving through from now till the end of the year. Hopefully you're starting to see some now already. And then we also have merchants continuing to grow. And we're focused on a bunch of things. We're focused on merchants who have high abandonment rate today. We're also really focused on these killer use cases, these use cases that make sense, like Dunkin' Donuts, like the Cheesecake Factory. So the Cheesecake Factory, for anyone who doesn't know, it's part of their app, and you can order ahead and order and pay at table with the Cheesecake Factory app. So this MasterPass checkout makes it really easy. There was recently a study done by Bernstein. I think it was March of this year. It should be footnoted there. I'm pretty sure it was March. And it was pretty much like a crystal ball type of thing. It was what's going to happen in the next 5 years. What are the top 20 things? And it's a good read. It's a quick read compared to some other research reports. And what we did is I summarized here I rolled up some of the different kind of premonitions, if you will, into themes and took some data here to make the point here. But what you can see is over the next 5 years, you're going to see a pace that's very different than what we've seen over the last 5 or even the last 10. So card and digital payment penetration will approach 60%, which is a big number. It's a really big number. It's a huge percentage of the population. Manual checkout and use of card on file could become obsolete. They said will. I'm not sure it will become obsolete in 5 years, but the point is being made that once customers find a better way to check out that doesn't require them to key in a number and a digital experience, they're not going to tolerate having to do it anymore, and we are well on our way there. E&M commerce will account for 15% of global sales. That's a big, big, big number. And most of our sales today, which I'm sure you guys would know, and if we were interacting back and forth, we'd probably have a discussion around, well, a lot of my volume is still in the store. The store is not going away. I don't think the store is going away, to be honest. I think the store will continue to stay, but you're going to start to see the trend become more e-commerce and mobile commerce, and it may even complement some things happening in the store. The other reason you'll see those numbers continue to rise is because more use cases will be enabled digitally that are using cash today. So, I mean, if you think about it, let's just use taxis and Uber. You get in a taxi, some taxis took credit cards, some didn't. Lots of cash was going back and forth. Uber shows up. You can't pay with cash. So instantly you're going to see an increase. And you're going to see more use cases like that. The one that's near and dear to my heart is the 20 billion tokens will replace and complement 5 billion plastics. I feel like that is such a big number, and it goes back to the point I just made around the use cases, right? So it's not just that today you have a plastic card with one number, and now that plastic card is going to turn into tokens that are going to sit in different places. That's one big aspect of it, and we'll talk more about that. But the other is that card is going to be used in so many more places than it could before. With the Internet of Payment things coming and integrating all of these digital experiences where that part of their business model is in the actual payment being able to be made. A great one's Redbox, right? Redbox's whole model is that it has to be card, because if it's not, or back when it started, if it wasn't, they didn't have any way to make sure the movie was coming back. And you're going to see merchants and use cases and businesses continue to innovate and evolve around that. Governments, we believe, for good or bad, will drive the payment digitization agenda. You're seeing this in some markets already. So PSD2 in the UK is a pretty big deal, and it really is about the government getting involved and what's going to happen in the digital space from a servicing perspective for their banks and in payments. I don't know what will happen in North America. I don't think anyone does, but I think it's a fair call that governments are going to continue to at least pay attention.
I think I'll take some time to say thank you, Jess. Great presentation, lots of great information, data, and things to consider when it comes to digital strategy and solutions. If you wish to follow up or pursue anything in the digital space, please speak with your account executive. And thanks again to everyone for joining. Have a wonderful day.